please take time to fill that feedback, that form. It's a very short, precise feedback form for you to fill it up. So as we thank you, we want to fill it up. So as we thank you, we want to appreciate the presence of the chair, recognize the chair of the commission, Professor Chacha Nyagoti Chacha, Professor Micheka, the CEO, of course, present here, CEOs present, Dr. Kande of KNQA, VCs present, former VCs, other dignitaries and members of the commission, exhibitors, presenters, and speakers who spoke all through the session. We want to thank and appreciate you for having made this conference what it is. Without your participation, input, this conference would not have been what we have seen it to be. Without much ado, I want us to go straight into the agenda of this afternoon. We are going to do three major things. We have a communique to be signed. We have the launch of the newsletter. We also have an AI-generated closing ceremony, which will come just after we have launched the newsletter. But I now want to invite the CEO to take us through that first bit that will take us to the signing of the communique, and then we will do the award. I forgot to mention that we have an award session of the exhibitions that we have had out there. That is the climax and the most important part of this event, the award ceremony. I invite the CEO to take charge. CEO, please come in. Let's house as he comes in.
Thank you very much for this opportunity. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to take this opportunity first and foremost to thank you, every one of you, for being here and for having been with us this long. I think this conference has been a great opportunity for us to exchange ideas, and has been a great opportunity for us to think about not only our now, but also strategize on our future. And I want to hope that as you leave here, you will go with some ideas that you can go and implement. Sometimes I have felt there is a certain philosophy that we like ascribing to ourselves as Africans called Ubuntu. They say, I am because we are, and because we are, I am. I don't want to undermine that philosophy, but I also think that you can actually reverse it. And you say, we are because I am, and because I am, we are. So that we also take individual responsibility for things that happens, and not always ascribe it to the collective. And the reason I say that is because I believe that transformation takes our own individual efforts. We have talked about research and innovation. How this will be translated in our various institutions will be dependent on individual actions taken maybe by a vice chancellor, individual actions taken maybe by a person who is teaching a particular course. It will be taken maybe at an official level somewhere in terms of assigning funds. So these things we'll have to do it individually, but also collectively. And I hope that every one of you has an idea that they can carry home and say, you know, remember Wangari Maathai and that hummingbird? That even if no one else is doing something about it, I'm going to do something about it. I'll make my own contribution. And my thinking is that we need to get there as well, even with research and innovation, to say we will do our bit. We might not have a lot of money, but money isn't the greatest problem. I think the greatest problem is great ideas. And that's where we should begin. Let's have the great ideas, and then we see how we can transform. Let's see what great things we can do with the few resources that we have. I believe that that can happen. But this session this morning, ladies and gentlemen, is just an opportunity for us to engage in the closing remarks. But I want to take the opportunity then to thank those that have supported us. I think every one of you has supported us immensely. But there are certain institutions here that are represented, and you can see their boards down there, drop-down banners, and they have contributed to the success of this conference. Some of them have not had a chance to greet you, and I would like, if you don't mind, that we just give them, each one of them, just a minute or two to greet you, and to also, so that you can also appreciate them. I would like to begin with Dr. Alice Kande. Dr. Alice Kande is the DG, Director General of KNQA, and I would like to invite her. She wasn't able to be with us during the opening. Dr. Kande, karibu sana.
Thank you very, very much, CEO. Good afternoon. My name is Alice Kande, the CEO of the Kenya National Qualifications Authority. And yes, I would still give my apology once again. I wasn't able to join you on day one, but I'm glad I was able to join you yesterday afternoon and also today. And I want to really very sincerely congratulate the Commission for University Education team and all of us as stakeholders for really this great conversation that we have done. I must appreciate the very profound presentations and insights that have flown within this room. And I believe, like Prof has rightly said, we have takeaway, each and every one of us, and I believe in the very spaces where we are at, we will be able to make that small change, and collectively we shall see how transformative that has been. And so we bring regards from the Kenya National Qualifications Authority. Once again, it has been a pleasure being part of this. Asanteni sana.
Thank you very much, Dr. Kande. I'm trying to see whether I can see Professor Akuno. She was here in the morning, I saw her, but I haven't. She'll be back soon. Okay, when she comes, we'll give her a chance to say hello to you. I really appreciate that Jaramogi Oginga Odinga University of Science and Technology decided to go a step further and fund just a little bit of this particular conference. And I think it's the kind of thing that I'm just saying, let us all do the little that we can. I think I mentioned that yesterday, that Mwai Kibaki said that kulipa ushuru ni kujitegemea. Good friends, we must learn how to be independent ourselves. We should do what we can with the little that we have, and then we seek out partners from wherever they are, and they help us achieve our objectives. But we achieve objectives that we have planned for. So I really, really do appreciate all the effort that has been done by everyone. But we have a big brother here called National Research Fund, and Professor Micheka is here. I think he has reminded me a number of times now that there are many people here who are just his products. If you trace them, DNA, Professor Micheka. And so we really appreciate your presence, Professor. And we also appreciate the support that we've gotten from NRF. And I believe this is because of your great leadership there. I invite you to make some remarks.
Thank you. Yeah, clap for these men too, please. Really, I think, colleagues, really, I would have loved to, at some point, really, thank you all. Absolutely marvelous meeting. The chair, your staff, secretariat, all of you, plus also the PS and the CS coming here to really open this at the beginning of the works. I thought it was a very, very, very great honor for the two gentlemen and lady to actually have been present for this opening. Honestly, I've very seldomly seen them be in such a meeting. Mine, on behalf of the National Research Fund Board of Trustees, that funded all of you in what you are doing actually. Everything that do, most of it, no matter what you say, there probably would have been a hand of the National Research Fund Kenya, which at one time had a lot of money, later on reduced, and I do pray that the budget coming, which is already out, we got something that we shall actually support, and I give you, gentlemen and ladies. Thanks again. We supported this sitting. Our logo is there. I'm happy, and really, usipochisemea bwana hamna atakaye kusemea. Usipochipigia debe hamna hata mmoja atakaye kusema chochote. So really, I'm happy that we're here. There is no country that can support you to do research. Not even Eswatini will support anything good out of their country. Never, not even you yourself giving out information, Prof, that you know to anybody. The research that you do in this country is your research. The suffering that we go through is our suffering, and other countries would love to see us suffer a bit. Then they come for help and tell you, I have a dossier for such a problem. What am I saying? Let us all think, work hard, and actually come up with patentable, sellable. You know, I've always told even members of my parliament, even my CS, Mashogu, I tell him Machogu, we say Machogu, you people say Mashogu, it's Machogu, C-H-O, that get an innovation that works. 1, 2, fund it to the limit. Here we go round all through. I've gone round all through. There are areas that we can actually go through. And the VC is my brother's VC. And really on behalf of the retired vice chancellors who are seated there, I'm not talking on your behalf, but I like you to be recognized also. Give you ideas. Family. My brother, Nick, talk the way you talk. 1651. I don't know why we cram that so hard. Why can't you then knock it off? Why do you talk every single meeting I am? Professor here, Wanjoy, talks about 1651. What you have not asked him, you gentlemen and ladies, this. Sorry, Mike, I'm finishing. Why can't he knock it off? What has told him since independence that we still have to stick to it? Who told you you have to be married to it, talk about it, hammer it on us, without giving us a solution? Baba, enda fikiria bwana. Kabla uchangea jina hilo, neno hilo, mwaka huo, tupatie jibu kwanza. I challenge you now with first words. Finally, please colleagues, thank you so much, former vice chancellors, on behalf of my own self and everybody, and the current sitting vice chancellors, plus the ones who actually, many of them worked with me, some of them are here, were my mentees. Kinangamau kama bwana niangalia na jicho moja bwana, sema ndio, alikuwa na muda wote. So thank you for doing the best of work. But know one thing, I think, as I leave. I went around Western Kenya the other day, and the Nyanza polytechnics are very, very highly, heavily equipped. In fact, I found university students, I didn't want to say it here, when those guys were university students who have finished engineering, mechanical, mechatronics, other areas, training, retooling in those campuses, saying they never had. And I didn't want to say who I was. They knew me. They told me, sir, what we finished the training, we did not get hands-on as much practical training as now we are getting. So they're getting another diploma certificate from those campuses. VC sitting, a thought for you, those doing engineering. And I've indirectly answered my brother, Professor Nicky Wanjohi, that equipment, concession of those who have finished those mighty courses don't have equipment for which to train. I wish you happiness, wish you enjoyment, and thank you so much for giving this opportunity so that I'll tell my trustees that I was here and they will get information from you. Thank you so much, colleagues. Asante. Thank you.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, after these 3 days, our team has worked very hard to make sure that we have documented what you have been telling us, some of the recommendations that you have been making, and we have a communique that I would like to read. This communique will be signed by the chairman for the Commission for University Education. It will also be signed by the chair of Board of Trustees of NRF, and it will also be signed. It will also be signed by the chair or the vice chancellor's forum of public universities and private universities. I have talked to them, and unfortunately, they will not be able to join us here. Professor Mugendi was supposed to come, but he hasn't quite made it. I know he was involved somewhere else. But we have talked, and he's in agreement. And also Father Bowe traveled, but I have also been in talk with him, and we are in agreement. So this morning, is it afternoon now? Yeah, this afternoon, the two people who will sign this document are seated here with us. But I think I would like to read out what they are signing, because as having been part of this conference, it's good that you know what we are committing ourselves to. So, the Conference on Catalyzing Social Transformation Through Research and Innovation, held from June 12 to 14, 2024, at the Kenyatta International Conference Centre, KICC, Nairobi, brought together representatives from the 79 universities in Kenya, research institutions, Ministry of Education, and other higher education stakeholders. This pivotal event, organized by the Commission for University Education, aimed to address critical issues related to research, innovation, and their role in driving social transformation in Kenya. After 3 days of insightful discussions, presentations, and collaborative sessions, the conference attendees have come up with the following key resolutions and urge immediate action by relevant stakeholders. Number one, government allocation of 2% of GDP to research and innovation. The conference strongly urges the government of Kenya to allocate 2% of the gross domestic product to research and innovation. This allocation is in line with existing policy frameworks and is essential for fostering sustainable development and achieving the nation's vision for economic and social transformation. Number two, coordination of AI adoption guidelines. Recognizing the transformative impact of technology, CUE is urged to lead the development of comprehensive guidelines for the adoption of artificial intelligence in teaching, learning, research, and innovation across universities. These guidelines should promote best practices, ethical considerations, and strategic integration of AI to enhance quality of education and research outputs. Number three, establishment of technology transfer offices in universities. All universities are encouraged to establish technology transfer offices to facilitate the commercialization of innovations and research outputs. These offices will play a crucial role in bridging the gap between academia and industry, ensuring that research findings and innovations are translated into practical applications that benefit society. Number four, establishment of research incubation centers. Universities are urged to establish research incubation centers to curate ideas for products amenable to commercialization. These centers will foster a paradigm shift towards research that addresses community needs, branding universities as centers of excellence with specialized curriculum focus. Number five, curriculum and delivery mode. With support from industry and other stakeholders, universities should review their curricula and delivery modes to align with 21st century demands, emphasizing critical thinking, problem solving, communication, collaboration, creativity, innovation, information, and digital literacy. The content should relate to real-life situations to enhance learning, relevance, and be aligned to competency-based education. Number 6, embracing flexible learning systems. Considering the rapid technological disruptions and the vast availability of information, universities should adopt flexible learning systems to equip students with multidisciplinary skills. This flexibility will increase the value of graduates in the labor market, in the job market. Number 7, enhancing collaborations and partnerships. Universities should intensify collaborations and partnerships at local, regional, and global levels. Actionable strategies should be designed to increase investment and mobilize resources for supporting high-quality research and innovation initiatives. Number 8, linking with industry and community. Universities are encouraged to make deliberate efforts to work with and or collaborate with in the areas of curriculum development and uptake, link with industry and the community, ensuring that learning is meaningful and relevant. Programs that engage with the community and county government should be crafted to foster practical learning experiences. Number 9, supportive structures should be established to attract international students and enhance staff and student exchanges. Policies on internationalization that benefit the national education system's students' learning, faculty, and research capacities should be developed and implemented. Number 10, incentives for private sector support. The conference calls on the government of Kenya to provide attractive incentives to encourage the private sector to invest in and support research and innovation within universities. And number 11, and the last one, the Commission for University Education is called upon to develop and implement a robust follow-up mechanism to ensure the recommendations from this conference are effectively executed. This mechanism should include regular monitoring, evaluation, and reporting processes to track progress and address any challenges that may arise. Conclusion, the resolutions and recommendations outlined in this communique are critical steps towards realizing the transformative potential of research and innovation in Kenya. The conference participants are committed to working collaboratively with the government, the private sector, and other stakeholders to implement these recommendations and drive forward the social and economic development of our nation. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. That's the communique. I was hoping I would hear that so that at least I know you agree that this is what we should do. And now I would like to invite the Chairman, Commission for University Education, and Professor Micheka. I think I want to invite you to do the signing first, and then after that, Professor Chacha Nyaigot Chacha will make the remarks here. So, I think, which is the better place to sign there or here? Yeah, you can come and just sign here.
You know, I do agree, but I say I do really agree with this communication, and I do hope that we absorb it and take it. Your stress on research finances is very good. Thank you so much. So the last page has no writing, so I sign it. These things we used to do with Mbidi. You remember Mbidi? Yeah, so I said, you know him. Thank you. Today is 14th. 14th. I'm doing this on behalf of the Board of Trustees. So if I'm put in, please come for my rescue.
Yeah, let's put our hands together for Professor Micheka. Yeah. Asante sana.
Yeah, I'll endorse at the end of each page, Prof, after you've done it. Yes. Yeah, thank you. So that
you can endorse later.
Yeah.
Later, okay. Yeah.
Thank you.
So,
I thought we were signing somewhere.
You are the number one.
That's fine. Yeah, thank you. Okay. Okay, asante.
Asante.
Asante sana, mwalimu.
Mfanye na kazi na hii.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Professor Ratemu Mcheka. And thank you, all of you who are here. We have been here since Wednesday, and this meeting has been prepared to take place through a number of participants' interventions and inputs. I thank all those who are involved in trying to bring out first the idea that we could hold such a great meeting. It has been my greatest joy to see the interaction between the young upcoming scholars represented here by students who are sourced from our universities, most of them who are still undertaking their studies at master's and PhD level. But more than anything else, the full commitment of the leadership of universities in this country, who have been represented here by vice chancellors, deputy vice chancellors, directors of research, and holders of individual dockets in their respective institutions. Thank you very much, all of you. Our responsibility as the Commission for University Education is always to support the processes that take place in the universities. Since the time I took over as a chairman of the Commission for University Education, I assured our primary clients, the universities, both public and private, that we are not policing you. We are not policemen. When we come to interact with you, we come with a checklist to confirm certain things. And as you have realized, most of the things we come to confirm are things we would have given you ample time to even talk about them by yourselves. So we come to verify and confirm that the way and the facts that you have presented are the true facts as it appertains on the ground. We have had very close working relationship with you institutions, and we will continue to cherish this relationship. We are expecting that this sector can continue growing to greater heights of excellence and quality. As you know, quality is our agenda at the Commission, and I know that you people in the universities, you don't take quality for granted. Most of the universities, as we have already been told, have established very viable offices or directorates of quality assurance, and through the interaction, which starts from the lecturer who teaches the program all the way to the head of department, to the deans, to the registrar academic, to the DVC academic, and the vice chancellor, and council, and of course the chancellor. You all mean business by saying that higher education and university education in Kenya will be education of quality. I wish to share with you some of my thinking. As many of you know, I actually have been in this sector for quite a while. I have had opportunities to interact with great minds of this nation, great minds of this region, and the great minds of Africa, and the great minds of the world on what it is that we need to do to ensure that university education is purposeful, focused and productive in terms of creating the human resource capital for our nations to uplift their economic development. But the story is still the same. 20, 30 years ago, we were still worried about whether we had equal opportunities for accessing university education. That question will never go away. So wherever you are located as a university, don't just wait for students to come your way. Find an opportunity to interact with some of the high schools in your neighborhoods to find out whether the students indeed know what you are doing in those institutions, and if they know, whether they can appreciate the fact that your institution, your university, could be their destination as they continue moving forward in their academic pursuits. So we are wishing you well. We still are grappling with the gender equity. If you look at the leadership in universities, for example, both public and private, we are still concerned about whether both genders have been given or accorded equal opportunities to actualize themselves in whatever position they aspire to get to, both in sciences as well as arts and humanities, both in leadership, both in governance and structural systems, including heads of departments. So that will still be an issue that we'll continue grappling with. But you know, there has been also a dichotomy between what we offer, our curriculum offer. Does it address the needs of society? Does it address the needs of the industrial world and the public and the private sector out there, the world of employment? More often than not, many individuals do make statements which are very frustrating. Sometimes they think that we are not doing good things in the university. But when you go around these booths, which we have also given the opportunity to the universities to showcase what it is that they do, you get satisfied that indeed the universities are doing what they are meant to do, and that at the end of the day, perhaps next time round, when we are going to have such a meeting, we will also be showcasing what people in arts, humanities, and social sciences are doing. Because right now, we appreciate one side of the university is as if we are thinking STEM is the panacea for all our problems. But I always speak from my position as a linguist that we need to interface science, technology, engineering, mathematics with arts, humanities, and social sciences so that we can have a culture of comprehensive university where people are interacting from all areas of specialization to sell the brand of the university so that you don't just pride yourself for being the best university in engineering, but at the same time, you can pride yourself for being the best in humanities and social sciences. Those of us who are in linguistics, we took pride, for example, when we were students in the US to interact with the greatest minds of linguists at MIT. I know many people here, when they are asked about MIT, they will think it only does science. But that's where the greatest linguist, Chomsky Noam, teaches and lives. And indeed, for his ability to interface with science and humanities and social science, he writes across both. He writes about the history of science, and he writes about politics, but he is also our father of structural linguistics. So any linguist who prides himself to have studied linguistics must know Chomsky. I am looking forward in this country to visit a university which will be showing me all the programs that we have accredited to be highly acclaimed programs with great minds interacting, lecturers and students in the classrooms, in the fields, as well as on stage. Some of us were made on stage. We used to major in drama when we were undergraduates and theater, and I know how much we talked about science while we were acting. So it is important for us to continue arguing this argument, which sometimes gets derailed, that let's emphasize STEM, STEM, STEM. So those of us who are in this field of non-STEM, we want to say we will also continue doing our job, because when we do our job well, we will create people of highest integrity, we will create people with morals, and we will create people who are good human beings who are not involved in corruption. We are also still worried about financing. I know quite a number of universities are grappling with the challenges of financing. These are topics. We used to go and sit in Paris at the UNESCO headquarters to talk about how African universities will be financed for the future. And we're still worried, because sometimes it is easier to take away money which is meant for universities and take it to other areas. We have to struggle, but you have an opportunity through your researchers to also create your own capacity as far as financial sustainability is concerned. The development partners, the funders of research are still here. They are still out there in Sweden, in Finland, in America, and all over. The Rockefeller, the Ford Foundation, they're still giving grants. So let's encourage our scholars and our researchers in the universities to take advantage of these opportunities, which sometimes get advertised in the net. And we can compete because we have what it takes to compete. From what I have seen here, people can get great grants which will change the trajectory of academic development in the universities. I know that more than anything else, we have also continued grappling with the status of our infrastructure. The university of the future will also be judged by how the infrastructural development, the facilities. When students come to your universities, they'll be coming to confirm that they are in a safer environment, they are in a beautiful, aesthetically gratifying and appealing lecture hall, and that where they eat is not like a piggery. So it is important for us, as we move from this meeting, to go back and continue thinking and talking with the council members, with the management of the universities, about how the infrastructure systems can be improved to ensure that we have a better place to encourage students to come and learn. Some of this doesn't need money. For example, you don't need money to actually landscape your university headquarters. You don't need money to make it clean every day. So it's important for us to take advantage of all the extensive experiences and the interaction you have had both locally and internationally to ensure that your universities are the destiny where my grandson or my grandchild will want to be, because they are people of quality. I want to also tell a story about one of the most challenging areas that the university is going to be facing. We have human resource, which sometimes we take for granted. Some of those people, at whatever level they are, including those who are non-teaching and those who are teaching at lower levels and those who are teaching at higher levels, including those who are retiring, the professor emeritus. It is imperative that the leadership of our universities take care of all these cadres of their employment individuals. It is important that in the future, people will be joining you because you care. You care about where they eat, you care about even where they sit down to brood and think about the academic endeavor. I think I want to mention the last but one thing. that we have the real center of what we do engraved in what we call the students. So we have more often than not assumed that students will come our way because in this country, for example, COOPs assign universities students. And because of the insatiable desire of homes and communities, there will be students who are now clamoring to come to the university. But the future, university students will be very choosy. They have already started. We have had stories of where students have been admitted to University X, but they have chosen to go to a local technical institute to acquire knowledge. So it's important for us to put in place facilities as well as the curriculum that will be attracting students to come to you. You must put people there who will be attracting students to come to you so that students can say, I'm going to go to Masai Mara because Professor X teaches there. And this Professor X is a professor of excellence in mathematics, and I want to be a mathematician. Somebody will say, I want to study geography, climate change, etc., and I want to go to Karatina University because that's where an eminent professor of climate change is going to be found. The future is going to be very difficult. I know those of you who are just gaining these leadership positions last year, 2 years ago or so, you have a tough job ahead of you. This professor, vice chancellor emeritus who have retired, they used to find every class full. They didn't even know where the students are going to come from. But the future is where your leadership will have to take time to go and tell people who you are in order for people to be enticed to come to you. So let's focus on the student welfare. Let's assume that these people are so critical because it is true that it is for them that universities are built. You know, if you had professors and workers on campus for 2 years consecutively without students, you'll even feel ashamed to call that institution a university. So it's important for us to take care of the students. My last comment is that when you are taking care of the students, you are taking care of the academic programs. Academic programs will create a brand. So I'm going to talk about a brand. You know, many of you, when you are listening to this professor from Imperial College London, and when you listen to some of these people who are talking, they're talking about their institutions because the pride of their scholarship is anchored on the institutional brand, so that when you walk into London and you're going through the Imperial College of London, then you know you are at the Imperial College of London. When you walk across, you know that you are at LSE, the London School of Economics. And I think this branding should be the hallmark of our future competition. And this competition between University A and University B doesn't have to be hostile. It is a friendly competition where you are sharing best practices in order for us to create a win-win situation for the universities and the students and everybody who passes across those places. I thought I should share this with you. Don't ignore drama. Don't ignore philosophy. Don't ignore philology. I have been discussing with some friends of mine whom we went to school who remained in America, the Americans teaching there, and they're saying the following. The Americans are still teaching religious education. They are still teaching philosophy. They are still teaching anthropology. They are still teaching sociology. They are telling the developing countries to focus on technology, innovation, and whatever. This was our mission here. And then they will get our workers who have been trained here, then they will come as specialists in economic theory, because they are not telling us to teach economic theory. They'll come as specialists to talk about law. Nobody is talking about law these days. In fact, we have been here the whole 3 days, I have not heard anybody mention about the legal studies and what lawyers do in our universities. And I think it is dangerous. My friends are warning me that as I sit in the chair of the Commission for University Education, I should tell our universities that education is comprehensive. Look at it broadly, inculcate and incorporate every aspect of human learning. That's how we shall succeed. It was my pleasure to have you as the chairman of the commission, and of course, through the support and the intervention of my staff here, led by the CEO, I'm very proud of the fact that this meeting has satisfied me. And you know me, when something satisfies me, then it has satisfied everybody. Asanteni sana. Mungu awabariki.
Thank you very much, Chairman, Professor Chacha Nyaigoti Chacha. Ladies and gentlemen, you remember I had wanted Professor Kuno to say a word. I know I was looking for you, but let me break protocol here a little bit and just ask you to come and say a word. We recognized you a little bit earlier and said that it was great that you decided to go a step further and support this conference, and members need to know. But I have also been to her university and I have seen the innovative things that are happening in that university. I congratulate you, and I want to encourage you to keep on.
The chair and my professor, Professor Kuria, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I just want to say thank you. I'd like to thank the Commission for finding us and for deciding that we were good enough to partner with you in ensuring that this conference took off this year. As a university, Professor Chacha, you mentioned something as if you read my script. We are keen on being visible on the ground. And what it means is that what we do, the research that we do, we want it to have an impact on the life of the human being, the ones in our immediate neighborhood and beyond. So let me just say thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor Akuno. We are just about only 2 more items and we are done for the day. So I'm glad time-wise we are doing well. I want, before I introduce the next event, to just revisit the word that Professor Chacha left us with. He told us, don't forget, and one of those things was the drum. So I want to come back to that drum. Some of you, or some people might ask, why is a regulator organizing an event for stakeholders or people it regulates to come and beat their own drum? I want to suggest that for us, we see regulation as much more than just that word, regulation. We would like to be seen as supportive regulators. We don't regulate so that we can throw our power around. We don't regulate so that we can be felt how powerful we are. We regulate first and foremost for quality. And if that be the case, it means that universities are our partners. We are part of an ecosystem. It doesn't mean that universities stand on that side and the regulators on this side. No, we are an ecosystem. So it is in our interest that great things happen in the universities. Unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, we in Africa are not very used to the idea of beating our own drums. We are always expecting other people to praise us. And sometimes, as a result of that, our good stories are not told. It's unfortunate that some of the great minds of this country, some of them who couldn't write but they were oral, but great philosophers, but their ideas were not captured because nobody was telling their stories. And I'm thinking we need to start rectifying that, and we need to make sure that we start going somewhere. It's for this reason, ladies and gentlemen, that the Commission for University Education has come up with the idea of having a publication that will be coinciding with the Biennial Conference. And in that publication, universities will have a chance to tell us the stories of the great things that are happening in their universities. And those stories can be taken out to the rest of the world. This publication we are going to launch today, I hope that every one of you, not I hope, I believe there are enough copies for every one of you to take a copy home. When you go with it, distribute it, and let people know the great things that are happening in the universities. Perchance someone, somewhere in Burundi, or in Dar es Salaam, or in Kampala, or in Ethiopia, or any of the other countries inside and outside Africa, can come across this publication and see some great thing happening in their university. And as Professor Chacha said, that person says, I want to go to that university because of the story that I have seen. We would like that to happen. And this is one of the reasons why we have published this particular publication. I am told that in this publication that we are going to launch, we have stories from about 30 universities. I am hoping that in the next one, we'll have an even bigger number. I want to encourage you from your own universities, start writing that story immediately we leave here. Let us in the next Biennial Conference, someone say, I was in that conference, I got this particular idea, I came back, invented something, and here it is, and the results are here. That, I think, will be a great opportunity to do that. And so, ladies and gentlemen, I want to invite our colleague, Ruth Darrow. She will guide us in this session. But before she comes, I mentioned there are two things that we want to do. That's one of the things we are going to do. But we have also been going around your booths. Some of our people have been going around your booths and making some assessments. And I am told there are some awards to be given to recognize. We know every one of you has done great, but you know you can't give an award to everybody. So first of all, I'll invite Dr. Marete. She'll come and tell us how we are going to give these awards. We would like the launch to be the last one, so that when you go home, we launch and you carry this publication home, and you continue telling our stories by distributing this particular publication. So Dr. Marete, come, tell us how you want us to go about these particular awards. Thank you. Karibu.
Thank you, and good afternoon, everyone. The Chairman, Commission for University Education Board, Professor Chacha Nyaigoti Chacha. The CEO, Commission for University, Professor Mike Kuria. Professor Emeritus, Professor Ratemo Micheka, and the Chair of NRF. My colleagues, distinguished guests, good afternoon again. This afternoon, we are delighted to present to you the outcome of the awards evaluation that was going on in the exhibitions. We visited a total of 37 exhibitions, and that is almost a half of the total universities in Kenya. And this was really good. The exhibitors and the research and innovations that were presented in these exhibitions were varied, and they were of very high standard. They ranged from agriculture, building and construction, engineering, health, education, security, art, IT, hospitality, food security, environment, among others. It was a very difficult decision to decide who is the best, who comes second, who comes third, in that order. And at this juncture, I would like to, before I can read the criteria, I would like to recognize the awards committee. We have Ruth Darrow. You can stand up and wave to the Ruth Darrow, Angela Nyangera, Varelia Onsando, Naftali Okondo, Pius Walela, Lucia Moya. And in addition to that, we end the judges panel and the judges panel is the one that really decided and made all the evaluations, did all the calculations, and because all the innovations were very high standard, I'm sure they might have gone to the second, the third decimal place to make sure that they get the best. But we are all winners. And the judges panel was Ms. Faith Marete, who chaired the panel. We have Dr. Beatrice Odera Kwach, thank you, and Dr. Benson Murgo. They went around all the booths and through a criteria, to start with the exhibition booth, the impact, innovativeness, the problem solving, its scalability, the presentation, and the patenting aspects. They came up with the best, the first runners-up, and the second runners-up in those two categories. So at this point, we'd like to present the awards to the best in each category, the first runners-up and the second runners-up in each category, and we'll begin with the exhibition booth. And before I read them out, I would like to say that even the CEO, the chairman, they don't know this, even the staff and the other members in this room, because we are guided by our core values of professionalism, integrity, equity, transparency, and accountability. Probably well done. Thank you, thank you, thank you. A big round of applause for ZTech University. Thank you. The first runners-up for the exhibition booth category, the first runners-up is, this is the first runners-up, is Murang'a University of Technology. And as Murang'a University of Technology comes up, we'll request all those who have been awarded to remain after we are done, to just remain behind. We just wanted to have a word with them. Murang'a University. Representatives from Murang'a University of Technology. Thank you. And the best in that category, and the winner is, University of Nairobi. University of Nairobi receives a trophy and a University of Nairobi. And as I said earlier, we didn't leak this, so I believe it was a surprise. Now we go to the research and innovation category. The research and innovation category. And indeed, they were of very high standard. I'll repeat. It was very difficult to decide who is the best, and the second best, and the third best, all the way. The second runners-up in that category is Egerton University. Egerton University. The first runners-up in that category with the best research, with the research and innovation, is Kenya Medical Research Institute, KEMRI. In that category, the winner is the best in that category of research and innovation is Jaramogi Oginga Odinga University of Science and Technology, JOUST. Let's give them a round of applause as Vice Chancellor. ceremony section. I will hand over the program now to Professor to Ruth. Ruth,
thank you.
Take us to the unveiling of the Varsity Digest.
Thank you, Dr. Marete. Thank you very much. And at this juncture, our CEO and our chair, I would request that you don't go up. We have to unveil this, and I'll also request the representatives of our sponsor, the CEO of KNQA. Let's also have the VC from Joost and a representative from NRF and Professor Emeritus Micheka, kindly join us. We have talked about telling the story of universities, and that's what we are going to do today. We have had quite a number of great success stories happening in our universities, but we are taking the lead to tell the story. And at this juncture, allow me, before we get into the unveiling, to just acknowledge the team that worked behind this. Allow me to mention that we had an editorial team that worked very closely with all the 79 universities. And you'll also allow me to just highlight that we did a request to all the universities to support us in this publication. We got responses from over 30 universities, and we applaud you for that. Clap for yourselves. To keep this publication going, as my CEO has indicated, we still seek your support. So when we reach out for your stories, please keep them coming. Allow me to mention that in the editorial team, we had editorial advisor led by our very own CEO, Professor Mike Kuria. In the editorial advisory, we were assisted by Dr. Marete. You can just show by Dr. Marete, I know by now you're known. We also had in the editorial team, Miss Evelyn Okeo. Thank you. We also had Miss Angela Nyangera. And still on the editorial team, we had Geoffrey Wanjala, he's supporting in the ICT. And finally, we had Pius Walela. So at this point, we get to the official unveiling of our Varsity Digest. It's not a newsletter, it is the Varsity Digest. This digest will keep telling the university story. So at this point, I'll request our guest here. As guided, we will open as we unveil. Let's keep clapping. Thank you as we unveil. Thank you very much, our professors. And thank you, our CEO, for your support to make this a success. Thank you very much. Thank you. And that is the Varsity Digest. And as we proceed, you'll get a copy of the same. Let's keep telling the story of our universities, the great innovations, the great strategies that we have in our university, the great quality that we are working towards. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Actually, I've gone through it.
Very good.
At this juncture, I want to take back the program to Professor To. Thank you.
All, thank you very much, Dr. Marete, for leading that session of award presentation. Thank you to Ruth Dero for that great launch of the University Digest. Thank you, Chair of the Commission, the CEO, and all those who have made this possible. Just before we come to the grand finale, I would like us to have a very short session of closing this ceremony using the support of AI. We talked about AI a lot in this conference, and indeed in the communique, it was one of those areas that we have been tasked to come up with a framework and guidelines on how to navigate this disruptive emerging technology. If Professor Chris is around, please I would like you to applaud that.
Hello everyone, and all protocols observed. Hello everyone, and all protocols observed. Welcome to the final session and closing ceremony of the 4th Biennial Conference on Universities Research and Innovation.
We hope you've had an inspiring and enriching experience over these past few days. It's been incredible to see so many brilliant minds come together.
Absolutely. Guided by our theme, catalyzing systemic social transformation through research and innovation, we've explored groundbreaking ideas and innovative solutions.
And our tagline, Innovate, Collaborate, Transform, truly came to life as we shared insights, achievements and challenges across various disciplines. A thank you to our Honourable Cabinet Secretary, Madam P.S., all the distinguished researchers, innovators, industry leaders and stakeholders who participated. Your contributions are paving the way for a brighter future for Kenya.
Together, we're not just discussing ideas, we're igniting a movement towards a more just, equitable and prosperous society. Woman, we look forward to seeing the continued impact of your work. Let's keep innovating, collaborating and transforming the world, one groundbreaking idea at a time. Thank you for being a part of this journey.
It has not just been an event, it's a movement, it's a call to action, urging us to harness the transformative power of research and innovation to build a more just, equitable and prosperous society.
Join the movement as we innovate, collaborate and transform the world, one groundbreaking idea at a time.
Thank you from me too. Enjoy the entertainment and rest of the session. I will now hand you back to the chair, Professor Jackson too.
Where is Chris Odindo? There you are. This is wonderful. Let people appreciate you. Come over here so that we can give you a better round of applause. This is great. Just say something to these people.
Right.
And prove that you're not an AI.
I'm not a robot. I'm not AI. Well, that was just an example of the things that we can be able to do. I did nothing on that video. I took the website of QA, took the portal where this conference is, I fed that into an AI. The AI generated a script. I took that script, fed it into InVideo. InVideo did the video, got the images from Firefly, and then ran it and sequenced it itself. The only thing I did was to go and edit it so that we have Professor Jonathan Toe's name at the end. That's it. That's the only thing I did. But that is the transformative power of this. You can do this exactly with your lesson plans. You can do this with your assessments. So it gives us some food for thought. And the only thing I wanted to just leave you with has been a lot of African faces in the video. And that is a challenge I want to throw at, because the trouble this thing had was to get images of Africans in an intellectual context. We need to take that as a challenge and develop the next gen of LLMs that reflect our culture, reflect our society, reflect our people, because as Professor Kuria mentioned and has highlighted this, a lot of this technology is racist, and we need to bring it home to ourselves and our culture and our people. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Now we are coming to the close of this great session. I would like to invite Mr. Joseph Musyoki to move a vote of thanks to all of you. Then thereafter we shall have a prayer. Phyllis Karimi, if you are present, you will be giving us the prayer to close the session. Mr. Musyoki.
To the Chair of the Commission, CEO, Commission for University Education, Vice Chancellors present, distinguished participants, retired Vice Chancellors, good afternoon. Mine this afternoon is very easy, very straightforward, just to move a vote of thanks for all of us who have been here in the last 3 days. I want to recognize the support we have gotten from our parent ministry. You remember the CEO. Further, I want to recognize and really thank our chair of the board, Professor Chacha Nyaingoti Chacha, for the stewardship he has given this occasion. Those of you who follow history, remember that last week Europe and America were commemorating the 80th anniversary of D-Day. That is history. D-Day was that time when the Allied forces landed in France to liberate France from the Nazis. And this was one of the most complicated amphibious landing. But the import of that is that it was led by one brilliant general called Dwight Eisenhower. The reason I'm giving you this short story is because for the Commission, planning and organizing this workshop was akin to what the Allied forces were doing for D-Day. And for that, we have one supreme commander for this exercise, and that is Professor Chacha here, assisted by our CEO. Professor and your board, thank you so much for the support you have given to this exercise. We are also appreciative. To the participants, we don't have enough words to thank you, because without you, this occasion will not have been successful. 37 exhibitors, 31 from universities and 6 from other agencies. Thank you so much for those presenters who presented from within and without. We really are very appreciative, because you made this occasion very successful. Indeed, you didn't let us suffer the biblical infamy of the king who prepared a big party and there was no one to partake. It would have been disastrous if you didn't turn up, even though we had made such elaborate arrangements. Feel appreciated. We are very thankful. To our partners, and you have heard some of them mentioned, the National Research Fund, the Inter-University Council, the JOST, the ones you have seen down there, KNQA, and the others, British Council, who have supported us or supported this event from the very beginning. Thank you ever so much for your support. I think the only thing we can say is that when we know you are around, we know we can never and will never walk alone in this journey of catalyzing research. Thank you so much. To the CUE staff who worked tirelessly to put together this very splendid occasion, I feel appreciated. Special thanks to the planning committee led by David Muthaka. A lot of appreciation. David, I know what you went through. Special thanks to the press, the media houses which have been with us from the beginning. I understand there were 7 of them. I feel appreciated because you have told our story across the borders by making sure that what is happening in this room is shared far and wide. Feel appreciated. The management of the KICC who have prepared or afforded us this venue and supported us technologically and otherwise. Thank you ever so much for all what you have done to make this occasion a success. And for those who I may not have mentioned in any specific way, it's not that we have forgotten you. Feel appreciated because once the history of research in Kenya is written, you will also have a footnote, if not a chapter. Thank you all. Thank you, every one of you. Asanteni.
Thank you, Joseph, for those remarks. Now, again, I want to make this announcement. We will display the QR code for you to give us a feedback about this conference. And we value that feedback because it will inform how our next conference is going to be. So if you have not given us, filled that form, please do so. We also had the physical forms that were issued out. Please ensure that you submit them before you leave, because it is going to help us to plan for the future. At this juncture, before I invite the chair of the commission to close this conference, I want to inform you that we had 8 international presentations that joined us virtually from all over the globe, in the UK, in America, and even Italy. And this, again, is quite commendable. We were able to provide the links, and we had the presentations loud and clear, and we have captured all that. We will be having a book of proceedings generated from this conference, and we hope that we shall share with you. I would like to invite the chair of the commission, Professor Chacha Nyaigoti Chacha, to close the session officially, and then we shall have the prayer from Phyllis. Yeah. Professor.
Thank you. Thank you, Prof. I think I have already expressed my gratification and gratitude. I think it's only fair that we now formally declare that our meeting has come to the end. We wish you all journey masses as you travel back to your normal and regular stations of work. I also know that before you depart from here, we are going to share a meal. So, asanteni sana. Mungu aendelee kuwapa nguvu, kwa sababu Waswahili tunasema liwalo lile la kuwa ndilo litakalokuwa. Na kama hujaelewa nimesema nini, wakati wa chakula unahitaji kunikurubia ili niweze kufafanua kwa makini ni nini nimekisema. Lakini huwa tunafurahika sana. Hatima yetu iko wazi na ni lazima tushinde, kwa sababu hatuwezi kufanya lolote bila kushinda. Hii nchi inawategemea, na vijana wenye nguvu tunawaomba muendelee kuvaa miavuli. Tutaanza kuwarusha kutoka ndege iliyopaa juu ili mshuke chini, mshike hatamu za uongozi, kwa sababu hao mababu wanayoyomea na hatima yao ni kushangilia kazi yenu vijana. Asanteni sana.
the chairman, Professor Chacha Nyaigoti Chacha, the CEO of the Commission for University Education, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I now request that we stand up for a word of prayer. Thank you. Our Heavenly Father, we pause before Thy presence this afternoon. Our hearts are full of gratitude because You have brought this congregation to achieve its mandate, to achieve its objectives, and it has come to an end. Glory and honor be unto Your name. When You are starting this meeting, we invited You, and we do not want to be like the foolish ones who never turn back to say thank You. And that is why we have paused before You to say thank You and thank You for what we have been able to achieve. Father, we also know that that which we have agreed in this meeting, we cannot achieve it. These collaborations between different institutions, that we may work together for the good of this country. We pray that we will even achieve more in this sector of higher education, that we may have positive impact on the lives of our young ones. We thank You for listening to our prayer. We pray that You remember this country and bless it and its leadership, because it has made it possible for us to meet. Be glorified now and forevermore. It is my prayer in Jesus' name. Amen. Thank you.
Hello, lunch is served.